Good morning. Dramatic video shows the terrifying seconds as a passenger plane crashed in Taiwan this morning. A warning about what you're about to see. It is disturbing. This video comes to us from Taiwanese broadcaster TVBS. Watch as the Trans-Asia flight turns on its side with one of its wings clipping the bridge. If you look closely, you'll see the wing also hits a taxi on the roadway. The plane then plunges into a river. At least 25 of the 58 people on the plane were killed. It's believed the death toll will rise as rescue crews continue to look for people still missing in the wreckage. There's also been a terrible accident in the United States. A commuter train has slammed into an SUV north of New York City.
People were pulling the windows off, trying to get out through the emergency windows, screaming, yelling. It was just total panic.
At least 7 people were killed and a dozen more hurt after the impact. It's believed the gates at a train crossing came down on a Jeep Cherokee. Emergency crews are speculating that the driver may have gotten out to see what was holding it back, then got back in to drive off the tracks. That's when the train struck. The impact pushed the Jeep more than 120 meters and started a fire on the train. At least 6 train passengers were killed, along with the driver of the SUV.
To see what I saw in that front train is something that I will never forget. It was completely charred and burned. I am amazed that anyone got off that train.
More scrutiny for a mining company already fighting for its public image. Imperial Metals has been paid a visit by some people in uniform. Conservation officers were seen looking through materials last night at the company's downtown Vancouver offices. A search warrant was executed there and also at the Mount Poly mine near Likely. It was the scene of a disaster last year. You remember when its dam failed, causing the tailings pond to collapse. The search is part of an ongoing investigation at the provincial and federal levels. It's being conducted to see if Imperial Metals has broken any laws. The warrant was executed just hours after First Nations called for big changes to BC's mining industry. Leaders want the province to adopt all of the recommendations made by an independent panel. The panel reviewed the Mount Poly breach and released its findings last week.
We're not saying that there should be no mining. What we're saying is that there has to be a balance. First, there are 2 economies, and I say, you know, the mining companies, maybe they don't make billions of dollars, maybe they only make millions of dollars, but they use the rest of the money to make sure that our economy, which comes from the land, is safe.
The dam at the Mount Poly mine was found to be badly designed on an unstable foundation. A North Vancouver woman accused of setting booby traps along trails in Lynn Valley is expected in court today. The 64-year-old was arrested in January after a hidden camera was set up over the summer, which apparently caught the vandalism on tape. It's now been reported that the woman is afraid to leave home following the criminal charges. Her husband has also told media that her health is being negatively impacted by the publicity. But the editor of a local online magazine says this isn't the first time this couple has been accused of having clashes with mountain bikers. He claims the trouble began well over 10 years ago.
Based on information that was submitted in an email to the North Van Council that suggested that 10 years ago, these 2 people, the Crawls, were beginning to be at war with mountain bikers, and they stated that they go on a walk daily to destroy structures.
Do Vancouver City Councillors and Park Board Commissioners deserve a raise? City councillors voted unanimously for an independent review of their compensation and resources. Currently, their salaries are tied to the average income in Vancouver of $68,000 a year. The mayor makes $154,000 and park board commissioners $8,000. They say it's time for that to be reassessed in light of their increased workload.
We get a lot of email, we get a lot of material to read, and to talk to staff, get an informed opinion, write back to people and so on. You know, our clerical support staff are wonderful, but there's not enough of them to do that.
Councillors in other cities like Toronto and Calgary make more than $100,000 a year, but they operate in a ward system. Some Vancouver City councillors also have other jobs. Many, including the mayor, also get extra pay for sitting on regional boards and committees.